have this unfinished cutout. I got it from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to start by painting the entire thing in Wise Owl Higgins Lake. This does have different layered pieces, but sometimes I find it's easier to just paint the entire thing and then do the raised pieces last. Now, of course, you could pick any colors of your choice. Wise Owl products can be found over on our webpage at chalkitupfancy.com. I then have this little piece of wood. It has some scalloped edges and design. I'm going to paint that in Wise Owl Snow Owl. I'm taking a little bit of chocolate paint on my foam dabber and adding a little bit of water, and I'm going to lightly wipe over the raised areas on the cutout. I'm going to cover this as best as I can, but the foam dabber does help from hitting the other sections of the Higgins Lake. And I want everything to fully dry. Next, I'm going to be using the epoxy. I get this from the Dollar Tree. There's two parts, a part A and a part B. And you want to mix equal parts together. I only need a very small amount, so I did not use the entire bottle. I mixed my two parts together, and you're going to stir really well. Once stirred, you can add color to this since the pumpkin is still blue, and I added glitter. You can also add a little bit of paint. I mixed it really well, and very carefully I poured the epoxy into the pumpkin cutout. If you do drip any over the edges, you do want to wipe it up before it dries. You can touch up the paint later. This didn't come out as bright as I wanted, so I decided after I poured all the epoxy in and it leveled out, to add some glitter on top of the wet epoxy. And this did help brighten it up. If you want to do a white instead of a chocolate, that may also help brighten it up. And the glitter will come off any dry areas. I took my piece of wood and I printed "Sipping into Fall" on some computer paper. I laid the carbon paper down and my computer paper on top of the carbon paper. I traced it so that way I knew where I was placing this to make it nice and even. And I drew over the "Sipping into Fall, and then the carbon paper helps transfer that onto your cutout. I'm going to leave mine penciled because I think this came out nice and neat and I don't want to mess it up. And I just took some Wise Owl Mandarina on a foam dabber and went around my edges to brighten it. I have some wired ribbon. I found this from the Dollar Tree. I did cut it in half and I made a little bow tying a piece of jute in the center. I just double knotted it onto the back side, and then you can cut any extra jute off. Working with a wired ribbon, you can fluff up those ends. I took the cutout and I glued it so it's hanging on the side, and then I glued the bow right above that. I added a piece of jute to the pre-existing hole, and I strung some beads that I found from Hobby Lobby onto the string to make a hanger. Now you can add this as a shelf sitter by your coffee bar, or you can also hang it. I tied a knot at the top, and there you go. I think this came out adorable. I really hope you enjoyed it. Paint products, tissue paper transfers, mesh stencils, wood cutouts can all be found at chalkitupfancy.com. Have a great day. And don't forget, our monthly subscription box has reopened today.